got Luke O'Reilly, who's our broker here at Hammock Real Estate Group, and we have the pleasure, he was able to give us some time today to talk about the overall real estate market here in Palm Coast, also as it relates to Florida. I know there are a lot of people that are thinking about moving to Palm Coast and really are interested in finding out really about what the market is here. You might be looking at different places that you're thinking about moving to, so we're going to try to give you sort of an in-depth look at what the market's doing here, and hope to have some new perspective from Luke. And Luke, thanks for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So again, we're just, there's a lot of people that are apprehensive, however you want to call it,
Sure,
about moving. And why don't you tell us a little bit about where the market is here in Palm Coast as you see it,
Yep.
being a broker, being here for 20 years or so, and I'll just let you.
Yeah, it's an interesting time, I think, in the market here, locally, nationally as well. Interest rates have certainly had an impact on sales. Sales are definitely down from when they were a year or two ago, but those years were unprecedented in terms of the number of sales we had here, especially in Florida and in Flatbed County in particular. So anything would be a slowdown from 2021 and 2022 because those were the top years on record. But certainly interest rates have put a lot of buyers on the sidelines. Interest rates are double what they were just a few years ago in some cases.
Right.
So for your families who maybe were considering that first purchase or a move-up purchase, a lot of those folks have decided to wait. The interesting thing, which I think maybe has not been communicated quite as much, is it's also had an effect on inventory, seller inventory. Sellers may be locked into low rates over the previous decade,
Right.
and even if they were considering selling right now, perhaps they wouldn't because they see the rates and say, wow, if I go purchase a new house, I'm going to go from my 3% rate to over 7%.
Yeah.
That could definitely discourage sellers from putting their homes on the market,
Right.
maybe kind of seeing where things go.
Sure.
So that's been an impact as well. I do think that the winter months here for us will be a lot stronger than the third and fourth quarter of 2023 will be here locally. We have a very strong snowbird market.
Right.
Many of those buyers are cash purchasers, and they tend to be older in age.
Right.
So the idea of waiting an extra couple years for maybe prices or the interest rates to come down, not going to be a factor as much for them. So
Right.
I do think the winter months here will be strong. And the interesting thing is our inventory is already tight, so it'll be really a big question of where that goes once they start buying up the limited inventory that's here.
Would you say prices right now, at least here, are sort of holding steady? They're going down a little bit? What's
They appear to be holding steady. It does not. We haven't seen a big drop in prices from a year ago.
Right.
But they're certainly not going up at this point.
Right.
That has been curtailed. We did have a few years of increases, and that seems to have come to an end, certainly.
Right. What percentage do you think of buyers that we get here are cash buyers? I mean, if you were just to ballpark it.
Yeah, I mean, here, and I guess it depends on where you define as here. Here in the hammock, it's going to be greater than 50%.
Right.
Throughout Flagler, the number is going to be much lower than that. Here in the hammock, it's going to be where you do have, on average, an older buyer.
They paid for their house.
They paid for their house. It's a greater percentage of cash buyers. So they're going to be coming in with a lot of buying power this winter. They're not going to have a huge inventory to select from, unfortunately. But I think it's only going to make it maybe a little bit more difficult for the younger families to come in if they are trying to compete with the cash purchase. Is going to be tough.
And again, that inventory is just not here because the people that are living in those homes have 3% mortgages.
Correct.
And they can't afford to really go and jump up to that.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, I have clients that they were going to list their house and they have a 3% interest rate, and they wanted to get another house, but their interest rate's going to bump up to 7.5%.
Yeah.
So they're like, we're going to stay put until the interest rates go down, and that's an example.
So
of
that
what you're
takes
saying.
all those people
Yeah.
out of the market almost. Either the homes being put on the market or them going out and looking for new homes.
Exactly.
But I know like the interest rates are high, but like the clients we've been working with, they're okay. Like a lot of people want to wait till the interest rates go down, but I feel like a lot of people think of it in a different way. Like they think like, oh, if I buy now, I can always refinance in a couple years, and I won't be in that market when the interest rate's down. I'm not going to have that competition, and the prices of the housing will be up. So they're like, I'd rather get the price of the house now, refi in a couple years. And that's how a lot of people are seeing it too, I feel like. Obviously, if they can afford it, but
they know they're
a
not
lot of buyers are doing that are financing.
They know they're not locked into that 30-year, and they figure.
I mean, I think in terms of value, if you look particularly at our area, Flagler County, the Hammock Palm Coast, when you go up and down the east and west coast of Florida, it's still a great value.
Yeah.
Have our prices appreciated from before the pandemic?
Right.
Yes. We had an unprecedented influx of people who came down during those couple years after the pandemic.
Things were just going crazy.
Things went crazy.
Yeah.
Prices went up.
Now things are kind of a little bit more stable.
Yep. But we're still a really good value if you compare it to Ponte Vedra to the north. If you go certainly to southeast Florida, you can still be on the ocean for a very reasonable price.
This is one of the areas that is like no one knows about it. So I mean, it's kind of a hidden gem in that respect.
I was showing clients lots yesterday, and they were telling me like they looked all throughout Florida to buy, and like they're like they want to move to South Florida, and they're like this Palm Coast we feel like is the only place in Florida that's left that's like really affordable compared to like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Boca, and you can be close to the ocean and be a nice gated community and still have like that Florida lifestyle. And they're like set on Palm Coast, but like I think a lot of people are figuring out that Palm Coast like exists and that it's not like like a lot of people years before, like they probably don't know what Palm Coast is, but now they know, and it's like nice because we're close to really Jacksonville, Daytona, St. Augustine,
and St. Augustine is 30 minutes away, and but
it's nice to have that nearby.
Yeah,
you can go to St. Augustine. You're not living it.
Yeah,
I did live in St. Augustine for a couple of years, and you always drive behind the tourist trains and everything. So I mean, it's cool to visit, but
exactly.
But in my opinion, regarding like, I know people like I have people up north tell me, oh, you're doing real estate, like so sorry for you and stuff. Like it must be so hard. And I get it. Each market, like each state and counties have different markets, and they're more busy than others. But I feel like still here, even though like this is the slower season, like I've been pretty busy, and I still have like finance people. Like I have some that are cash, but most of my clients are financed, and they're still making the move, from other states and stuff. So I feel like still here, people are still really interested in making the move, and they're willing to sacrifice, moving here. Like a lot of my clients sacrifice moving here, and I mean, they don't regret it after.
Where do you see a lot of the where's the clients coming from?
I mean, I've had clients from California, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Massachusetts have clients living here.
A lot of
a lot up north.
Yeah.
But there are some people like from California.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
So so there kind of stems all over, but they want to move here. So.
Well, before we close out, we're talking to these people. They're interested in moving here. This is some closing comments.
I think that now is the great.
Is this a good opportunity?
It's a great time to start looking now. Say you're planning on moving maybe in the next year. Don't wait until next year to come down. Things can change really, really quickly. As we have seen over the last few years, we've seen it change rapidly and drastically in different directions a couple different times. It's very dynamic. So get yourself plugged in with an agent now who knows the market. Call Bill and Valeria, get in touch with them, have them bring you up to speed on what's happening, understand the communities that might be of particular interest to you, and have you guys keep an eye out for them, because you want to do that now so
that the good deal when you see it.
You know a good deal when you see it.
Yeah.
And you're ready to go when, Valeria gives you a call and says, hey, this is the one that you've been looking for. Well, I'm not sure. We still got to come down and get to the area a little bit. You want to be ready to go. It's too late. Yeah. And when everybody comes rushing back in, if interest rates go back down, now you're competing with a lot of other people again. Now is the time to put yourself in position for the next purchase.
That's great advice. Anything else?
I think that's it, but thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks a lot, Luke. again, give us a call, shoot us a text if you interested in checking out the area. And thanks again, Luke, for spending some time with us.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll put our links to the website, the brokerage website, and number if you're interested in finding a home.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
All right.
Yay. Thanks, Luke. I learned a lot.
All right. Yeah, me too.